we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking?
Damn.
Oh shit! What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
That ends too soon. I need to get the whole version.
Oh, I
What up?
sent
What
it
up?
to
What
you. I
up?
thought. Never mind. Doesn't matter. We'll do it.
I don't think that was a whole version though. I gotta go back to the email.
I
Was
probably sent the
it?
wrong file then. I thought so.
Yeah. No, because when I played it, it was the same length of time. I was like,
Okay, so I sent the wrong one.
I was like,
Sent the wrong
I
one.
tell her in the morning. What's going on, y'all?
Cool.
Happy Monday. Today is Monday, right? Today is Monday.
Today is a Monday. Yes, today is a Monday.
I'm all out of sorts, so excuse me,
You
y'all.
ain't even had a sort since kindergarten.
me and my big age might be coming on with the ear infection. So pardon me, but I'm like
not
a little
pardon
bit
me for my ear infection.
But we're gonna get through this because this is how much I'm like into this is how much I'm into this story that I'm over here. My headphones is halfway on because I don't want to irritate that ear, but I'm like, we gotta get through the story.
You got your little drops and stuff.
I gotta get those because I remember the last time I had it, which was like over a decade ago. Yeah, I had to get like drops and stuff. So I'm like monitoring it and seeing like if it subsides, then I'll leave it alone. But if not, then I'll just go get. So I don't know if it's an infection, but it feels like it.
Okay,
So
what I want to know is, I remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about your little fetish, how you like penises in your ear. So remember when I was telling you that it wasn't a good idea? This is why. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to inform you, like, it's probably going to end up bad. It might feel good for the moment, but in the long run, you don't want those problems. And now look at you running around with an ear infection. Poor thing. Poor thing. This is what happens when you don't listen to your elders. What happened?
I didn't even expect it. That was good.
That's how you gotta do it sometimes. That's how you gotta do it. Keep them guessing, you know.
What's going on, Midwest? We got Stella. We got Melissa S. We got Level 24. Mistaken. What's going on, Mistaken? Reaper and Stan, Tech Mommy, and Marie Taylor Noir. She went outside. I did not go outside with wet hair. What a trooper. I do it for the people. Y'all have no idea. BGL. And Stan, I have heard streaming is the hardest job on the planet. Nova is an example of that. Yo, I really was like yesterday, the other day, I'm like, damn, my ear is bothering me. Like, what the fuck is it? Because, like I said, I haven't had an ear infection in a long time. And then I'm like, oh shit, is it an infection? How the hell did that happen? But anyway, what's going on, y'all? I hope everyone is having a good Monday. It's the start of the week. We will be going over this as long as we're able to every day out the week until we finish it.
Yeah, there's a lot. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's just so much and it's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. What part are we on right now? What are we about to get into?
16. We're about to get into 16.
Okay. There's so much. I couldn't help myself. I told you I wasn't gonna watch, but then I watched some more videos.
I heard it starts getting hot. Like now, this is when she starts to introduce these other people. Nova, put fingers in your ears and make a seal. If you wiggle your finger and it hurts, you need to go see about an infection. Well, fuck. I guess I got an infection. God damn it!
I told you. You can't just put penises everywhere, honey.
Oh my god! All right. So yeah, LA Anime. I just uploaded, which I gotta upload the rest of the episodes today. the new series, The Lies He Told. I
Mm-hmm.
got 1 to 16, I think, uploaded, and she
That's
has
such a good one.
21 parts. So I gotta
Hmm.
upload the rest today.
And then there's another
Um,
one. Okay, we got apparently wife number one and wife number two talked, and baby mama talked.
oh, of this one, I gotta get those. I gotta get those.
Mm.
What's going on? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's a Basement Bitties. I forget to introduce it every fucking time. What is going on?
Hello,
What is
folks.
going on?
Hello.
It's what we do. I don't know if this is gonna turn into like a fucking where we talk about dumbass relationship stuff on this podcast, but
I
we'll
mean,
see
for
where it
now,
goes.
that's what it
It's
is.
been
I mean,
fun.
yeah, next time, I don't know what the next dumb shit we talk about is going to be, but for now, this is what we're doing.
There's some
This
new shit
is
that we get involved in. Like, oh,
exactly
this is
until the next
interesting.
dumb thing we
Let's
find.
talk about this.
Hmm.
Um, oh yeah, no problem. Uh I'm gonna get the rest of them up, and I'm also looking for some new ones. Like I'm gonna keep looking for them because now you know what's gonna happen. Like everybody's gonna start uploading their own stories. And here's my
Hmm.
thing: people are gonna start making shit up because they want to get the same type of clout.
I
But if
hope we
you're gonna
can
make
find
shit
that one
up,
first. My
go the
favorite one.
distance.
I love those. I love people just lying about shit for clout. You remember that one chick who kidnapped herself?
Yes,
Remember?
yes, we
Remember?
went over that. Yeah,
Yes. Oh my God, that was one of my favorites. There's an update. The bitch got charged. She's doing
yes,
time.
I did see
Time,
that.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. If you're gonna make it make it glorious. I was saying in the
Mm.
comments the other day, I want to hear the love affair with the alien. Let's go the
Oh,
distance
let's
with this shit.
go. Let's go. I am here for
Where's
all of that.
the succubus or some shit like that? Like, let's
Mm.
go. Let's
I
do it
got
all.
pregnant by a ghost. Yes, you did. Tell me all about it, bitch. Tell me all about it. Mm.
Your little ghost baby. I want to know what happened.
Let me know about your
Ronnie's missing.
poltergeist fetus.
Ronnie's missing light switch cover. Thank you for the update. Viewers are urged to keep their ear holes ding dong free. The pleasure is not worth the pain. And like the
Mm,
damn stream, we should have at least 500 by now. This
mm.
includes your BB update. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was right on time.
Yes, all the time. Ronnie's missing light switch cover always is on time.
Because
Yeah,
light
she
switches
ain't
are
charged.
always on. You know what I mean? Unless
Yeah.
they're off. You know?
That's a good way to look at it. No, you
Mhm.
gotta ask Vaughn about those type of relationships. Yeah, I know. We gotta get Vaughn to give us a story.
I don't know if you can handle Vaughn though. I
No,
don't know if you can
I just want
handle
to hear
Vaughn.
the story. I don't want to talk to him.
You don't want to talk to him? So matter of fact, yes.
I'm cool on that. I don't want to talk to him. I just want to hear it. But I was told the poltergeist didn't think the baby was his.
This story
Right,
is wild. I need to know about this.
right, exactly. All right, so let me bring this up because we got. Well, this video in particular goes up to 22, so we'll see how much we get through. I'm hoping
Okay,
that we could get up to 22 today.
let's do it.
Well, we shall see.
Yes. You
We
might want to speed
shall
her up a
see.
little bit. She does talk
Yeah,
slow. Yeah.
I was seeing somebody else that did that the other day, and I was like, why the fuck haven't why haven't I thought about
Why am I not doing this? Yes.
that? Right. What am I doing?
Mm.
Here we go. Um. Okay, let me speed this up. Whoa, 1.25. I think
Yeah.
1.25. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So, what were we up to? We were up to. Let me move it back just a tad so that we could get a little update. All right.
Okay. Ready, set, go.
Go. Oh, okay. So this is when they got married. Okay, okay, okay. And she was like, at the end of January. So they got married in the beginning of January, and then at the end of January was when
Hmm.
she realized it was a mistake. Okay, so this is when
Yes.
she started getting into that. Okay, okay.
aunt was more like, "Really? You married him?" My friend, the one who took me to the hospital for the miscarriage, was like, "I wish you would have told me, like, you deserve to have people there, take pictures and celebrate and all this other stuff." Um, and she was like, she's the type of friend, if you like it, I love it. If you rock with him, I rock with him. The moment you don't, I don't either. So she
All
was
right, this
very
is up at the highest. Some of her videos, which is what I had to do when I uploaded the new series, is check that all the audio was good because I didn't realize some of her audio was so low compared to the other. But they go up and down, so
she
we're
was
just gonna shut up.
the girlfriends were happy for me. They just hated that I had to get married during COVID. Because they were like, we would have loved to have, thrown you a bridal shower and
No, BGTV. I didn't realize that she had some of her volumes super low when I first downloaded it. I haven't watched any of these. I've been trying to keep myself from watching it so that we could all watch it together. Didn't realize that the audio was so low. That was a mistake on my part. My bad.
a bachelorette party and all of that. It just sucks that you couldn't experience that. So we got married on a Tuesday. Um, on the way home, stopped and got some wings, went home, and I had to get ready to go to work the next day. And life, I got married January 5th. By January 31st, I knew I was in trouble. I still didn't know how deep, but I knew I was in trouble. So,
Okay, pause.
to give you all a very,
I'm not saying that you have to spend $10,000 on a wedding. Okay, not saying that
Mm.
at all. But if I get married and you take me to Wingstop, I'm filing for divorce the next day, like immediately.
What's
You're
up,
telling
Axel?
me the
Yeah,
day we decide to get married and I take your name, you're feeding me wing. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Wingstop, but that is not we just got married food.
right. We would have had to have like a conversation where we were like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, right? But if you
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna take you somewhere nice, and we ended up at Wingstop, I'm like, really? On the day we got married, this is what we're
You can
doing?
at
Yeah,
least give me some cheddar biscuits. Let's be real.
right.
I could have at least had some cheddar biscuits. Mm. Take her to Subway. Now that's fancy. Nothing says I just got married like a meatball soggy sub.
True.
Nothing. Mm.
Or
very,
pastrami sandwich.
Those are good
very
though.
candid idea. Got married January 5th. The normal things that married newlyweds do when we got married completely stopped. And that was not by me. You always hear men talk about, man, now that we're married, she don't. In my case, it was the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite. So anyway, because this is not a forum to be all R-rated or whatnot, but y'all get what I'm saying. So we got married January 5th. January 6th, I went to work. It was a lot of people congratulated me because the kind of word got out that I had gotten married. January 7th, um, I filed the paperwork to change my last name. And if you were following me, you can go back like 15, 16 videos, and I talk about how I had to change my name back to my maiden name. But I changed my name within about 3 days of getting married. Um, my attitude was, this is the bed that I made. I'm gonna do right by him. I'm gonna do right by my marriage. Um, I took marriage seriously, and when I married him, I absolutely married him thinking I'm going to be with you for the next 40, 50 years. So we're going to have to figure this shit out. That was my mindset. I did not get married to turn around and be divorced in 6 months. But I got married January 5th, 2021. And by January 31st, I knew I was in serious trouble. So that is where we are. The next set of videos, the next set of all this will be me talking about how things went downhill before it crashed and I found everything out. In the meantime, tomorrow is my birthday. So happy birthday to me. The fuck did I marry? This is the interlude, basically. Um, I'm not recapping on this video. I'm just kind of answering some stuff that has been written to me. Someone was like, "Why are you airing your business out on social media?" It's a valid question. For me personally, I feel like this was traumatic to experience, to live through. And I'll expound on that on another video, the aftermath of the toll that this took. Um, Honestly, and I know some people are going to be like, that sounds crazy. It is kind of cathartic to get this out because I cannot tell you how much of this has been internalized since 2020. Also, I don't want to seem like a cautionary tale to other women or to men for that matter, but to my sisters, to my ladies, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. If something does not sit right with you, investigate it. I cannot stress that enough. If just one woman watches these videos and she's like, you know what, something don't sit right with me, let me look into this, um, then it was worth it. Yes, it is a Lifetime movie. Yes, it is Netflix. Yes, it is crazy. Yes, it is hilarious also. Um, and I understand all of those reactions. As someone who lived it,
Um, Beryl said, "Is she seeing a therapist?" I don't know. She probably should. If she decided to make an entire series about
She
it
did.
on TikTok, she probably should be seeing somebody.
No, she
Oh, she
did
did
see
see one?
somebody.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
she did see somebody, and it looks like all the women so far who've come out and talked about this motherfucker have dealt with some type of therapy after him.
Okay.
So, mm.
All right. And let me see what else was I gonna answer before I go back on mute. Is this one still low? That one is pretty good,
No,
right?
this one's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So we already gotta go on mute. Trust your gut before you trust any man or woman. Yeah, I agree. Like this should go for everybody because there are men
Everybody.
who bypass the warning signs too, and it's like,
Because you get that weird little feeling sometimes with people. You know what I mean? And that's like,
yeah,
that's human nature. When you get that feeling, you need to pay attention, right?
yeah,
Crude
exactly.
AF. Listen, I'm gonna catch you up on what you missed. Crude AF. Nova has an ear infection because she was putting penises in her ear. We're back into the story right now. We're gonna try to kill the rest of this story so we can move on to the next couple pieces. But all you need to know right now, Crude, is that Nova keeps putting penises in her ear. So I'm happy that I can inform you. This is your Parker update on the stream. Thank you for asking.
So she just realized that she made a mistake, Frank. So you just caught us. It's in the beginning. You're good to go. Don't even trip. Um, get some of that ear flush at CVS. Is that what it's called? Okay, I might have to look for that. I might have to go to one of them like quick clinics or whatever. That sounded wild. So that I could go get something for my ear.
um, it was traumatic. But I feel like, God, it feels good to finally admit um, what the fuck I went through.
Yeah, urgent
And
care
again,
law.
by the time this is uploaded, I'm only to January of 2021, right after getting married. So when I think back on it, there's things that I'm very, very grateful for. There are things that I'm just like, why did you not pay attention? Why did you not question? And the sad part is, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't remember the woman I was before I met that man. I don't remember. Um, because going through something like that, it changes you. And I've seen some women in the comments who were like, I was married to a habitual liar. I was married to a pathological liar. My baby daddy's a pathological liar. And my heart goes out to them because until you have dealt with someone so depraved, you you really don't quite know how bad it can get. Um, so I'm fully aware that this was a risk, putting this out on social media, telling my story, my truth. and really kind of being like, look, this is what I went through. I made dumb decisions. I overlooked things I should not have overlooked. I argued away things I should not have argued away. um, I can pinpoint exactly the moment I should have left. I still feel like God is sitting on the throne and he's like, I never planned for your monkey ass to marry him. I never even planned for you to go out and date with him. That's why I blew your tire. But you hard headed and you went anyway. And then I tried to go ahead and show you signs. You ignored them. Like, I feel like God did everything to help me as his child be like, this is not who I created to be
Mm.
your helpmate. And I was like, God, you taking too long. I want to get married. You taking too long. I want to have a family. You taking too long. And these are the consequences.
Oh, get the ear dried out ASAP will prevent it from getting infected. Chronic ear, nose, and throat. That's what it's called? Ear dried out? Okay, so people are telling me to flush it out. Okay, I'm going to flush it out. I will flush it out and then I'll go see a doctor. Okay, so what do you think about that, though? What she's saying right now? Thank you, y'all, for all the advice. What do you think about what she's saying, Miss Parker? Ear flush it out. You are muted, lady.
Shut up. Listen, I listen to people say when they get messages from God, they'll be like, "Oh, God told me to go right, but I went left, and then I had to pay the consequences for not listening to God."
Mm,
I can't speak on the God thing, but I will say that we do have intuition. Humans have natural intuition, and your intuition will tell you every once in a while something ain't right. It just don't sit right with
mhm.
you. And when you get that feeling, it's not a good idea to ignore it. The older I get, the more I realize this.
Yeah.
But when we're young and dumb, we think we're invincible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you need to always listen to that gut feeling. Like your brain and your gut actually communicate with each other. Like,
Yeah.
just
See,
listen to
I'm always I struggle with intuition
it. Hmm.
because I have very bad anxiety. So I constantly have to tell the difference between anxiety and
Hmm.
intuition. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
figure out which one is which. Because anxiety will have me never leave the house.
exactly.
Intuition will tell me that it's fine, right? Or like it's fine,
Hmm.
but then you should also pay attention to A, B, C, D, and E. So like I constantly have to fight battle between those two things. But I agree, like if you have something
Hmm.
that's just not sitting well with you, and things just aren't adding up, like if you don't trust your intuition, just look at what's being laid out in front of you. You
Hmm.
know, because it you like just look at how things are happening and the chain of events, and if they don't make sense, then I can see
It
not
probably
necessarily
doesn't
always
make sense.
exactly. I can see not always necessarily trusting your intuition because, like I said, like for me, I have anxiety, but when I'm not sure about that, I just look at what it is. You know, like
Try to
how is it
analyze it.
lining up exactly.
Mhm.
And if it don't make sense, then you have to second guess it, no matter
What
what
sucks
the
is
fuck is
how
happening.
easy it is for us to not look at the facts, right? Like
Right.
I think
Right.
every person, male and female, if you dated in high school, you have been here, right? Like you've experienced somebody telling you one thing and you seeing something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild how we will convince ourselves, hey, no, I must be mistaken. We literally gaslight ourselves half the motherfucking time. Unless you're
Yes.
dealing
Yes.
with like a
Um,
pathological liar narcissist. But we're really gaslighting ourselves because you know good and goddamn well he was fucking your best friend. You knew it.
yeah,
You didn't want to believe it.
you knew
You
something
know?
was going on.
Yeah. What the fuck is this bitch doing at your house when you ain't at your house? You ain't got no kids. You know what I mean?
Right. Right, Taylor Noir. Unfortunately, the people closest to me, no, not everybody, but some of the closest people to me also have anxiety.
Hmm.
So I told them they had anxiety because,
Yeah.
um, I went to a therapist and I just started looking the shit up, and I was like, yeah, I started looking at the people around me and the way that they responded to certain things. I was like, you might have anxiety, and then they went and looked it up and found out that they do. So I'm like, well, shit. Everybody around me is like, no, no, not everybody, but the closest people are what is it? Risk aversive? Is that what it's called? Where
Yeah, they
like
don't like to take those risks. They kind of pause.
where right where I think that there's good in that, but then to some degree you hold yourself back a lot
Yeah.
in life if you're that way. So I try to like navigate,
Hmm.
within that. But it's difficult. But I do agree that in this case, whether from the car situation to the house situation to, you know, um, the fact that he was his VP, but like it would have gave me pause that you got this mortgage from the bank, but you want to put a cash off on a house.
Why are we
That for
doing that?
some reason would have made me kind of pause and be like, that don't
Honey,
make any sense.
wait till we get wait till we get to his TikTok. I sent it to you, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, wait till we get to his. It's going hilarious. Okay.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh yeah,
man
he's
is
a relationship
wild.
guy. I saw
Y-
some of his TikToks. He's Did you see the text message exchange that he posted? Between
Yes.
supposedly him and her? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I
He's
was
he's
dead.
I tell you, he gaslit her and now he's trying to gaslight the entire internet.
Everybody.
But he had
Yes.
Netflix in
Mm.
Singapore.
Mm.
She enjoyed the toxic vibes he gave from jump. He lied about the house being closed, and the second lie was the car, but still married him. Yeah, we were talking about that on the last one where it may have
Mhm.
been where she just maybe she felt like LA was saying this, uh, that maybe she just felt like that was her moment. It was her time
Yeah.
for somebody to take care of her to
And
get
she
that
confessed
relationship
it.
that maybe she always wanted. Yeah,
Yeah, because she kept
it's of
saying, I
course
wanted
noble,
this, I wanted a marriage, I wanted a baby, I wanted a house and a husband, and I
right?
wasn't willing to wait for God to give me the right one. That's her
Hmm.
literally admitting to just being, she was stupid. She was ready to just get
Yeah.
what she wanted, however possible. And that's what you get.
Hmm.
Consequences that I'm paying for basically telling God, you took too long. And I feel like God's grace is sufficient.
No, we are not
It
at the
is.
last chapter.
But at the same time, and I'm not perfect. I mean,
Oh no, we're far from that.
not perfect at all. None of us are. But I do feel like when I sit back and I replay the events that happened, I truly cannot believe that was my story, because all I wanted was to meet a guy, for him to be my best friend, for us to get married, have a family. I wanted someone I could make fun of his big old forehead and he make fun of my nappy head and all my wigs, and yet he was my ride or die. I wanted someone that I could be like, man, help me with these kids, and he helped me with the kids. We
You
had a
ain't gonna
nice
find that
home.
in
We
two
were
weeks.
comfortable. That is what I wanted.
Right.
And I've said this before, and I say it again. I truly thought, I truly hoped it was my turn. You see the women who are, so happy,
I get that.
and they're in these loving marriages and life just looks good. I really, really wanted it to be my turn. And so I excused away a lot of stuff that I hope the next woman who sees this does not excuse, because I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish this
I mean,
on
that's difficult because I think that although we have like, I think now specifically, there's a lot more women who sort of like can show you that life, not necessarily married or having kids, like it can still be very fulfilling, right? But
Yes.
now you have these other movements that are like really hitting the pavement hard with trying to shame women into like not, into wanting these things. Oh well, the
Hmm.
modern woman, they're alone and old and dying alone, and they're not really happy. They're just telling you
Hmm.
that they're happy and they don't really want this. They just tell, and I think I mean, then I think she's probably from around our generation. So we were
Seems like
raised with
it.
that. We were raised with
Well,
that whole, like,
the
this,
idea of a house, picket
yeah,
fence, a baby, the nuclear family
mhm,
that everybody thinks they really want. The sad
right,
part is, as we do get older, it's not always peaches and cream. It really
right.
isn't. And
It's
you're
a piece
absolutely
of
right.
it.
People are
Hmm.
shamed into staying in fucked up relationships to this day. We've been
Hmm.
doing this to women and men from the beginning, forcing motherfuckers to think that you got to stay together because you did this thing. No, you don't. And being single in your 40s isn't that bad, right? Like we are
Right.
learning that, and like you said, there's like this huge boom for the happy nuclear family. It's on TikTok, it's on Twitter, it's on
Mhm.
Instagram. People are making money on these happy nuclear families. And it does put that expectation back on us. The same way when we were growing up and all the models, all the pop
Yes,
stars, there was
yes.
this look, right? Like everybody had to be bone thin. Like hips and ass really
Mhm.
wasn't a big thing when we were growing up, right?
No.
And
Mhm.
what happened? We all ended up with eating disorders.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. look at
You know,
Wendy Williams, and not to,
poor
but
thing.
if you look at the
Mm,
way that the big titties, the
hmm.
very, I think she had an eating disorder too. Like,
She did.
that was the look. That was what was being pushed nonstop when we
You're
were
supposed to
growing
have a
up.
thigh gap.
If you had an ass, you was fat. You was
Yes,
obese if you had an ass.
thunder
Get
thighs. It
out of
was.
here.
Hmm. I remember being called
And
thunder thighs back in the day, and I felt so
yes,
shameful about it. But now, when I
right.
walk past the mirror, bitch, I'll be like, "Hey, what's your name is?"
Exactly. Exactly. So I think it really, like, uh having this sort of having people constantly shaming, you know, people in general, but I think more so women. Women always kind of get the brunt of it, or just shamed. The
Yeah,
younger women are told, "Hey, if you are not careful, you're gonna end up like those older women that are miserable and they're alone." And I think, yeah, that puts a pressure on someone to say, "Okay, I'm in this marriage. I'm gonna be a ride or die. I'm gonna fight for this." But
hmm,
sometimes it ain't worth fighting for.
exactly. It's just better for
That's
your peace.
the bottom line, right? Not everything. I believe in fighting for a marriage. I believe in fighting for a relationship and doing all that you can. But only one of y'all can't be fighting. That has to be something that both of y'all make
Hmm.
it worth fighting for. If only one of you is fighting and the other one is just doing all the fuck shit, it ain't worth fighting for.
It's not.
Find somebody that's worth the effort, and then fight all you want. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
remember when people didn't talk about their hair weaves. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember
You
that.
were shamed for having hair.
Yeah.
Everybody was lying, talking about this my hair, this my hair, this my
Hmm.
hair. Now, a bitch will tell you real quick, I bought her. She's mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll floss on you. Like, yep,
Well,
that's.
because remember back in the day, black girls were convinced that they couldn't grow hair. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember growing up and all my
I
homegirls would
got a
be like,
tease.
"You guys, yeah, yeah, you got such long, nice hair," and I'm like, "But your hair is long too. Like, what are you talking about?" But
Hmm.
with the shrinkage and all that, and propaganda and all that other shit, I'm like, now it's different, which is great.
I
But
remember getting
yeah,
my hair cut in class. Okay. I
mm,
remember this like it was nothing. One, I was a Jehovah Witness kid. Everybody picks on the Jehovah Witness kid because we're weird. Okay.
yeah,
Off
that's
top.
true.
We're just weird. So I already got the bullying situation going. Then I sound like this. Okay. And it
Hmm.
was my first time in a public school. And I sound like I sound. I act like I act. I've been this weird little person since I was a little person. But so pedantic
Weird
asshole,
person.
let me tell you. Super pedantic. So I had these little bully girls and they were sitting behind me. I forgot what class we were in or whatever. And one of them literally grabbed my ponytail, pulled me back, and cut my motherfucking
Mm.
hair. Cut, cut a whole chunk out of my hair. She got expelled. These bitches. Okay, I was
Wow.
so sad, and it was a bunch of little black girls, and they were mad at me because my hair is long and natural, and they thought it was
Mm.
a weave. They insisted that I had fake hair, and I kept
Oh
saying I don't,
wow.
I don't. It was horrible. Oh my god,
That's
traumatic. Had to
terrible.
deal in therapy with that. It was horrible. I still to this day don't let nobody touch my hair. I'm like, get the fuck out of my head. Don't
Yeah, I
you
don't let
touch
nobody
me?
touch my hair either. For
Yeah.
because growing up, it was we were told that if someone touches your hair and they have bad intentions, then they'll make your hair fall out.
Bad
So to
juju.
this day, I won't let people comb my hair to touch my hair or cut my hair unless it's like my specific lady that cuts my hair or whatever. But
Hmm.
if somebody touches my hair, I'm automatically like about to two piece them. Like, why are you touching my hair for? I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the we have a lot of these pressures, and I can see why she would fall into that and feel like, damn, like it's my time.
The
And then the
desperation is
loneliness,
real.
the pandemic put a whole lot of pressure on people too, because now you're quarantined And so then you see
Mhm.
all these stories on social media of people quarantined with their significant other, or they're meeting people on social media, and these love stories that blossomed out, during the
Mhm.
pandemic, and it puts a lot of pressure to want to have that same sort of story.
Mhm.
Uh, my friend is a Jehovah Witness. I tell her knock knock every Christmas. Damn.
That's fucked up. You fucked up for that. Y'all is good friends though, obviously. You messed up for that.
Anyone to feel the way I felt the moment I discovered the whole truth.
Mm.
Um, so I just wanted to say that because I think it's important to try to answer the why is she posting this? Honestly, I was tired of holding it in. I was tired of holding it in. Um, and I hope it helps somebody. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Let's all get some sleep.
A lot of people are.
If you don't have anything to do and you just want to wish me a happy birthday, wish me a happy birthday tomorrow, February 15th. Shout out to Team Aquarius.
It's
Good night.
touching a lot of people. That's for sure.
Part 17. Who the fuck did I marry? So, for context and just to clarify some stuff, going forward, I'm going to now call my ex husband, I'm going to use the name that I call him in real life. So that way it clears up the whole fiance, boyfriend, husband, ex husband thing. So, his name is Legion. Anyone that knows me will tell you that is what I call him. So Legion and I, when I left off at part 16, or excuse me, part 15, Legion and I got married January 5th of 2021. For the first 2 weeks, things were fine. We got into like a routine basically. I would go to work, he would go to work. He was still leaving the house at around 6:15 every morning. He was still on the phone with his brother, the one that lived in Philly. Every morning, they would just that was their time to talk. From what I was told, the brother got off work. I guess he must have worked the third shift, and so he was getting off work
Okay,
as
pause
Legion was getting ready
real
to go
quick.
to work. So that
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the name he gave this wife is Legion. That is not his name. His name
Yeah.
has now been leaked,
Yeah.
but he was going by Legion. Okay, I'm gonna leave it to y'all to figure out what his actual name is because it's hilarious. But he was going by Legion. Uh,
so that was the perfect time for them to talk. He would talk
Wait,
to
is that? Hold
his
on.
brother in Baltimore.
Legion. She's out here marrying demons. Is that a name of a?
it could be. It very well could be.
Um,
I wouldn't trust a man named Legion either. Like, what's wrong with your parents? That's
yeah, if
not your
somebody the
name.
name was Legion, I'm like, stop lying to me. If
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
not
get
your
married,
name.
don't be giving me that name. That's not your name.
Yeah.
That's like me telling somebody my real name is Nova. I mean, well, it could be Nova. There are people who name their kids Nova, but
Yeah.
still, I would still second guess somebody.
Mm.
Like they named
Baltimore
you
and my
what?
brother in Augusta. Pretty much, just a quick phone call here and there, if not every day, every other day. So everything was pretty much the same. I would talk to my mom almost every day. I would talk to my aunt almost every day. So it was nothing to kind of, that's weird. That's what the morning routine was. He would talk. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. And said this in a previous video, but again, there were things I said in previous videos that I remember saying, hey, remember that because it's going to come back later. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. I had been working there for almost 8 years, 7 or 8 years by the time Legion got into the picture.
Legion equals six demons in most demonology.
Okay, so a group of six demons or more is called a legion of demons. Right there. That's horrible. That's horrible.
Oh, Jesus.
He was fine with the fact that I worked within law enforcement. I'm not a trooper. I'm not a sworn officer. I'm a civilian. However, um, again, his dad was a retired police officer. So he was perfectly fine in the beginning with the fact that I worked for Georgia State Patrol. He had been to my office before. He had met some of my coworkers. Obviously, even with COVID, because I still had to go into the office 2 or 3 days a week, he had been up there. So the friend who took me to the hospital when I had my miscarriage has met him. He and I have been to her home with her and her significant other before. So again, even in the world of COVID, when there were little times where you could get together with people, he has met people in my life. He has met my friend or that particular friend, and he has met some of my coworkers. So when we got married, the first 2 weeks, like I said, was fine. And then it's as if something snapped. Something just changed. What was totally acceptable before, suddenly little comments were made. Why are you wearing that to work? You get off at 3:30, so you'll be home by 5, right? Things that had never happened before.
Mm.
He had never questioned what time I'm gonna be home. Um, really, he didn't need to question it because when I'm off work, I leave. So it was never a situation of, oh, I'm just sitting around at work and just run my mouth because I have nothing to do. Um, and then it turned into, he would call me every day from work, and I'm going to demonstrate how those phone calls went. But he would call me every day from work, and if he even so much as heard a male voice in the background, he would have little comments to me. Who was that? Are they in your office? You know, man, I never know who's around you because it seemed like every time I call you, I have the hiccup, sorry. It seems like every time I call you, um, there's some man around. And I'm just like, at first I kind of shrugged it off. I laughed it off because it really truly was absurd to me. Um, but then it became a bit more frequent. And so I really just didn't feed into it because I'm like, I don't know if this is some insecurity. I don't know if this is jealousy because nothing has ever been done to make you feel any sort of insecure type of way. I've never entertained another guy, never flirted with another guy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So it is also important to note we got married January 5th. Things started changing around 2 weeks later. And the reason why I know it's 2 weeks is because I had recorded an audio diary on January 21st is the date of the audio diary. And I talk about how maybe I had unrealistic expectations because it seemed as if things were changing with he and I. So 2 weeks pass. He starts making little comments. End of January comes, he informs me that he wants to start looking for a house again.
Oh no, not the
I
house.
had no real desire to go through that process. So what he decides is that he's going to look for a house for us using his friend, the realtor, the one I did not meet.
Oh Lord.
So he tells me that he and his friend have been talking and he's going to start looking at houses. And what he's going to do is basically, if he feels like it's a house I would like, then he wants to show it to me because he feels like, I know that your attitude really isn't, you're in the mood to look for a house. So
Oh, Marty, Marty, Marty.
You will be disappointed, sorely, okay, disappointed
Yeah,
when we finally see Legion.
yeah.
I
We're
couldn't
gonna
help
go.
myself.
Maybe we'll do it Friday. If we finish the
Okay,
series by Friday, maybe on Friday we'll actually go over like the the
go through
ex
his.
from the exit, right? Like go through his
Okay.
whole
Mm,
because my
mm. He
my
did an interview I'm trying to find. Girl, stop. Listen.
on the good
Okay. Pineapples. It's wild. This shit is wild.
night. No, he definitely somebody has said it. And I hate to say this because like, I hate to be the one to be like that person don't look like they do this. But the way he presents himself definitely isn't like a VP. I'm sorry. It
No,
just isn't.
not at all.
Like,
He
yeah.
looks like a dark skinned Kermit the Frog.
Stop. I'm mad you said that because
Because you
now
can
I'm not
see
gonna
it.
be able to unsee it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what it is.
Grace.
Mm.
Yeah.
um, I'm gonna start looking, and then if I think it's a great house, then you can come see it. Um, and I remember thinking that's not gonna work. You're not gonna choose a house without me. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna choose the house, but I just think that me and old boy have been talking, and so he has some houses that he is representing. He wants to show me. So why don't you let me look at it? And if it's worth the time, then
No.
I'll bring you to look at it.
Oh God.
So he already had some sort of plan in place after talking to his friend about how he's going to start looking at houses. This is the end of January 2021. So I kind of threw my hands in the air and was just like, whatever, because I'm not getting emotionally involved in looking at houses. And for me, that's kind of what it was. I felt like I would see a house, I could picture us living there, and then it gets snatched away somehow, some way. I didn't want to go through that. So the reaction that he wanted, which was for me to throw a fit, I did not do. I was just like, okay, all right, like I trust you. And remember that I said the reaction he wanted because that's going to come back later. So he started looking at houses. Funny enough, the houses that he looked at, none of them I actually saw. But he would call me
Of course
and
not.
say, I'm at this house in Sandy Springs with the realtor friend. Apparently his realtor friend's name was Scott, not to be confused with the other Scott, the one that was actually helping us that dropped us as clients. I want to make that clear. There were two Scotts. One is the realtor who was representing us, who said, hey, I need proof of funds. If you don't have those proof of funds, I cannot show you any more houses. The other Scott is his friend who he had talked to on the phone at least 50 to 100 times in front of me. That's the Scott that he said is going to show me this house in Sandy Springs. Apparently, the house was like $800,000. So he was like, I think that if
Why
I
does
like
it
the
keep
house,
going
then I'm
up?
gonna bring you out here so you can see it. All right. Now let's go
Every time you look at a
into
house, it's more
part
expensive than the last one.
18.
It keeps going up every time he looks for another house. It's more expensive than the one before.
Hmm.
Like,
But he don't want
why?
to show proof of funds though.
Right? Why
Okay.
are we doing this?
Mm.
Okay, part 18. Who the fuck did I marry? So he starts looking at houses in Sandy Springs, Alpharetta area with his friend Scott. I did not see any of these houses. I did not go. I didn't want to go. Um, so what was starting to change is, remember I said before, he would leave the house every day at around 6:15. He would be home every day between 3:30 and 4 o'clock without fail. It was so I shouldn't say it was annoying, but I could set my clock by the fact that I would hear that garage door open between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every day that he went to work. Even during lockdown, he still had to go to work. His job was only locked down for maybe a week. For me, I was allowed to work from home, but unfortunately, I did not handle it well. And so I would fall asleep and not check email. So my boss was like, yeah, you're going to have to come back to the office because you're not trustworthy. And I wasn't. I mean, I would watch Netflix and not even be on my computer. So I had to start going back to
Yeah,
work every
working
day,
from
5 days a
home.
week. Um, and
People think working from home is easy. It's you gotta really be disciplined.
I was, me and another lady were the only two in there because we were the only two who did not handle work from home properly. Anyway, that's another story. So Legion would, he started to not come home by 4 o'clock.
Oh,
He started to come home 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock, because he was saying that he was looking at houses after work with his friend Scott. So it definitely was noticed that things are changing. Um, and I just, at this point, kind of emotionally and mentally, I was just like, I don't know what to do. This is the end of January. Remember, I told you in part 15, I got married January 5th. By January 31st, I kind of knew I was in trouble. And by the end of January, sure enough, I knew things were changing in a way that I was like, I hate to sound redundant, but what the fuck is going on? So he's still maintaining the story of looking for a house, looking for.
doesn't that still fall in a time period that you can just get a whole like an annulment without a problem?
I think
Isn't
that's
it
only
like
for like the first 30 days.
right? So she got married in the beginning of January. Towards the end of January, she realized there was an issue.
Yeah. But she was holding on also. She
Yeah.
was also trying to make it work. So she wasn't ready for a divorce at that time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And what's really crazy to me is she's working with law enforcement, and somebody said this in the chat. Why didn't she do that background check? Because remember, this is job number 2 she's at, and she's
Hmm.
working with law enforcement. They had to do a background check. He gave the wrong information, right? So it's like, to me, I feel like she was really really desperate because she was
Yeah.
ignoring everything at this point. By the time we get here to this next house with Steve, that we don't even know if this motherfucker's real, right? We're
Yeah.
not on
Exactly.
speakerphone. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I feel like at this point she really is digging herself into a real deep hole. She's putting herself there. She's gaslighting herself.
See, I like I can understand kind of like you know not catching certain things because like in the day to day you end up like trusting the person that you're
Mm.
with certain affairs and all that. But I don't know. A good thing to get my ears to perk up is start fucking around with money. Once like
The
my
social security
like
number would have had me out. You
oh
put
that's
one
another
social
one, yeah.
security number on our fucking marriage papers, and you wrote another social security number for my job. That right off top, I don't know
Oh yeah,
you.
I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
that would
even
have been
know
it.
you. Yeah, you fucking up my life at this
I
point. I don't.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, you just got these fake socials. Like, get the fuck out of here. He's used at least three
Right.
in the story so far. It's ridiculous.
That yeah, that right there would have had my ears all the way up. Like, oh, you
Hmm.
gotta go. You have to go. Like, that's it. I don't know whose social this is. Number one, but number two, why you keep yeah, that would have been it.
Yeah.
looking for a house. I had already let him know my lease is up in August. When my lease is up in August, I am moving to Cobb County. Um, and then my attitude was kind of like, you can go with me or you can stay here. I don't care, but I'm moving. I'm leaving Clayton County. The reason why I was so adamant to move was not because of Clayton County. It was not because of the house that I was in. It was because Legion had started to create this narrative that he was beefing with my female neighbor. He was trying to get me to believe that my female neighbor to the left of me um, somehow was interested in him. And so she would make these little comments, and he would come in the house complaining about her and her music and the fact that she had, different men over to the house. It was driving me crazy. And all of this was kind of starting in January. So when I say that, it really
Okay,
seems like we
pause.
got married January 5th. And then
Okay.
Mhm.
He's got you thinking the neighbor wants to get with him, and he's upset because she got a bunch of dudes running in and out the house. Why are you in her business? Why
That
does it
was
even
my
matter?
question. Why do
Yeah.
you even know that? Number one, number
Yeah.
two, men are usually pretty like oblivious, conveniently so, right? I don't think that they're
Hmm.
necessarily actually oblivious, but
Well,
they
they
did
just pay attention to different
like they
shit.
are. Right,
Yeah.
but oblivious specifically to women that are interested in them, right?
Hmm.
You ever been with like your dude or whatever, and some woman is like clearly hitting on him, and he's like, "Yeah, she was
You don't
nice,"
know nothing.
like,
Exactly.
right? like
Like, oh,
they
you
really
just think
are
you get
oblivious.
service like this? You think you're him? Get the fuck out of here.
And I've never seen a guy actually have a problem with a woman like even lightly flirting with him unless she
Hmm.
crosses the boundary. So
Exactly.
like what was she doing? You know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
she just has different men in her house. I would side eye him like number one, why do you know the people that's going to her house? Number one, why are you paying
Mm.
attention to it that tough? And number two, okay, she thinks you're attractive. It is what it
Yeah.
is. Like, but that's what abusive people do. They try to do the us against the world type shit. So
He
it's
wanted that reaction.
exactly, yeah.
And I just want to address she did not pick the name Melissa. This is the name that he gave her. He told her his name was Legion. That's not his name. He lied about his social security number. You know what I mean? Like, these are the lies that he told her.
Jesus.
then we had 2 weeks of peace. And then something just snapped. I literally mean something just snapped. So he's looking at houses. Now we're moving into
Oh,
February.
thank you,
February
Ani.
obviously is my birthday month. He did good. He did good to make Valentine. He went all out for Valentine's Day. He went all out for my birthday. My birthday and Valentine's Day are February 14th and February 15th. So um, he went all out on both days. Y'all ain't even gonna believe this story. But I said I would share even when it makes me look bad. So the weekend after my birthday, and what I mean by that is if my birthday was on a Tuesday, we're talking about Saturday. The weekend after my birthday, he gave me money to go to the nail salon, go get a manicure and pedicure. So I leave the house. I take his car. His car was in the driveway. We had a key to each other's car because, again, we're married at this point. We're talking February 2021. So I take his car and I drive to the nail salon over in Morrow. I'm in the chair getting a pedicure, and I get a text message from my husband saying, someone was just at the house looking for you. And I'm like, who was looking for me? What do you, well, who was it? And he said, I don't know. I think it was some, this is through text. I don't know. I think it was some dude you used to mess with.
Hmm?
Okay. Um, I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I'm telling you, some guy just came to the house looking for you. I told him you were not here. So at this point, y'all, I'm in the chair at the salon. I'm freaking out because I'm like, who the fuck
Thank
has
you,
the
Ani.
audacity to come to my home unannounced, uninvited, talking about they're looking for me? Especially because before I met my husband, I was working the last shift at Amazon as a part-time job. So I had not dealt with, dated anything with anyone for about a year before I met him in March of 2020. So I really was like, who the hell is
I'm
this
gonna
coming
say
to my
something.
house? So I finished.
I understand that some people may not do this for religious reasons or even personal reasons that maybe they want to refrain from like sex or whatever. But if you're going long stretches of time without having anything with anybody and you find yourself getting very lonely, go find you a fuck buddy. I know that that's like some people may not like that advice, but it will save you from thinking things
Yes.
are what they aren't.
Yes.
That post nut clarity is a
Get you
motherfucker.
right where you need to be. Listen, what kills me is how he is sitting here telling her some dude that you used to be with is at
Right,
your house. Okay.
right,
Up top, you know going good and goddamn well ain't none of your exes on that shit. So what is he talking
right.
about? You know in your heart of hearts, everybody knows which ex is gonna do dumb shit. We know. You already know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so you're gonna just
Yep.
tell me this is happening out of the blue now? Come on now. He can't
Yeah.
tell you
Right.
nothing about that.
Yeah. Like if there's a certain ex of mine, if you told me he just popped up at my house, I'm like, no, he didn't.
No,
Then there's another one
exactly.
that I'll go, oh, okay, well, you need to
Okay, let
call
me
the
call the
cops.
cops. Exactly. Let me call the cops. Oh, with him, let me call the
But
cops.
there's a
Hold on.
few that I'd be like, they're not
Mhm.
there. Stop it. They would never
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. Yeah, get a rabbit or a rose. Yeah, yeah. Or do something like that. Thank you, Kitty and more.
Mm.
Get a toy, get someone you trust or whatever. I don't fucking know. But do not make these decisions based on loneliness because you
People
will
have to
fuck up
stop doing
every
that.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
you gotta stop just jumping into shit because it was good one night. Y'all had a good weekend together. That don't mean
Hmm.
we're together. It just means we had a
Yeah.
good weekend together. Everybody says they want to marry their best friend. Everybody wants to marry their best friend. Y'all ain't even know each
Mhm.
other long enough to be a best friend.
Right. Exactly. Hmm. Right.
I finish the pedicure. I head home. Once I get home, I'm like, what are you talking about? What happened? And so I'm frazzled in a way. And he's calm. He was like, yeah, it was a black Dodge Charger. They pulled into the driveway. They backed in. They backed in as if they had been here before. So clearly, this was someone who's been to your house. He got out the car. He said, I opened the door and I went out there and I said, is there something I can help you with? And he said, the guy said I'm looking for and gave him my name. And he said, I'm sorry, she's not here. And he was like, oh, okay. All right then. And just got in the car and drove off. And I was like, my brain stopped working because I'm
Mm.
thinking, who the heck could this be? A Dodge Charger? I was like, are you sure that it wasn't law enforcement? Like, was it the sheriff's office trying to serve me with a lawsuit for a credit card I didn't pay? He was like, no, he was in regular clothes. He was like, and it was not a police car. It was on a marked unit, basically. And so I'm just like, who the heck could this be? And he was like, I know who it was. And I said, who? He was like, I think it was your ex.
What ex?
How do
I
you
said, what
know?
ex? He's like, the one that you had dated for
Exactly.
2 years. Remember back in like part three, part four, I told y'all he told me about his ex. I told him about mine. I
Okay,
thought
Hmm.
we
but
were
did you
being
show
honest with each other.
pictures?
So now,
Right. Like, what do you
How
mean?
you
Why
even
would you
know?
be here? Right.
Yeah. How do you know?
What
I
ex?
mean, I don't know about you,
Excuse
but
me?
I've never been one to be like, oh, let me show you the pictures of all the people I used to
No.
be with. Like, I might not even keep your pictures unless it was a cute picture I was in it. You know what I mean? Like outside of
Yeah.
those couple, like I'm not keeping pictures of you around.
I would only do that if I felt like one of my exes was a danger. Then it'd be like, look, if you
just
see
in
this
case.
person, you need to
Hmm.
be careful, whatever. But like real shit, I'm pretty cool with most of my exes. So I would never show a picture just in case I need to call one of them crazy motherfuckers. Like
Yeah, my
just in case
crazy
I
ex,
need to back up.
my crazy ex went ahead and deleted himself. He's crazy as hell. He
Oh.
deleted himself.
Mhm.
I think I had told you. Um,
Mhm.
that motherfucker tried to come to my house. Went to my house. I wasn't there. Okay. Wasn't there. It was horrible. Whole situation. But yeah, he deleted himself last year. I don't have to worry about crazy exes
Oh
anymore. I
yeah.
might have a new one. Because this motherfucker just be popping up in my house now. Talk about, oh, I
Oh,
just I brought you some bringing me juices. And he knows I like stuffed animals. So he just bringing me stuffed animals. Motherfucker bought me a hat. What is happening? It was a long weekend, y'all. Folks, it was a long weekend. Let him go.
folks. Yeah, let him go. Let him go. Yeah, I've never shown a current partner an ex's picture. Never.
Mm-mm,
I
not a
think
thing.
the only ex that any partner has ever seen is my kid's dad because of pictures with my kid. That's it. Other than that,
It's
no.
understandable.
Yeah. Other than that, no.
Fast forward to February 2021, and he's telling me, yeah, I think it was the ex that you had been dealing with for those 2 years before you met me. I said, so you think that he showed up to the house uninvited after 2 years? And he's like,
Right.
well, whoever it was clearly was comfortable backing into our driveway, getting out the car, and was like, I'm here to see, and gave him my name. Um, and so he was like, she's not here. Is there something I can help you with? And the guy was like, no, no, it's cool. And they just got in a car and drove off. So again, brain is like, who could this be? So then Legion says to me, you know what? The way that you reacting to this is real suspect. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you over here freaking out. I told you I took care of it. I told you it was fine. And you over here freaking out, which makes me wonder, what have you been up to? Now, let's go to part 19.
Well, bro,
Okay.
I
The
don't like people
gaslighting
showing up
is
at my
so real.
fucking house.
Yeah, and you trying to make it seem like I'm cheating and I'm hiding something from you. You done made up some bullshit, got me nervous
Right.
that somebody's popping up at my motherfucking house, and now
Right.
you're trying to tell me that I'm being funny because I want to know the
Right.
details. Get the
Of
fuck
course
out
I'm
of
gonna
here.
wanna be of course I'm gonna be a little like, wait,
Yeah,
what happened?
who?
Like confused because this is not something that
Right.
I was dealing with prior to this shit. If this ain't
Exactly.
happening 2 years and now all of a sudden it's happening, of course I'm gonna be suspect. Like,
What's
what the
going
fuck
on?
is
I
going
might maybe I
on?
need to make a report. You know what I mean? First of all, you're
Exactly,
sitting
right,
here telling me somebody came to my house. Maybe I need to
right.
make a police report. You need to tell me everything. Period.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about I
I
don't
think
know
I got
what
a
you
ring
got going
cam.
on. Ooh,
I'm like, you
jeez.
know what? I'm gonna solve this whole thing. I'm gonna just get a ring cam. Fuck this shit.
Mm,
Cause you,
yep.
right, man.
The fact you got to get
Man.
surveillance at your own house because this nigga is just telling you too much. Okay.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Even lying about this is a control tech. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
to make her nervous about losing it. Yes, yes, thank you for bringing it up. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. It's that sense of like anxiety that she's gonna start to get over if one little thing happens or something happens from the past, then he'll go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
Yep.
can't leave. Yeah, I can't let
Yeah.
him leave.
Part
I got to be
18.
on eggshells.
Right. Yep.
Who the fuck did I marry? So he says to me, the way you're acting is real suspect because I told you it was fine. I took care of it. He was like, I ain't even worried about it. He was like, obviously, that nigga didn't know that you now married, that you've moved on. And so now he knows it. But for me, it was the fact that I don't do pop-ups. Don't come to my house unannounced. So
Yeah,
if
me
someone
either.
has done that, for me, it automatically feels like a violation and it
Yep.
feels like it needs to be addressed. So it was not as simple as I already took care of it. It's fine. Let it go. No, we ain't letting nothing go because you don't have my permission to show up to my house.
Mm-hmm.
And before this turns into something where I'm going to be on Fox 5 News, I need to address that with you because that is not okay. So he didn't like the reaction I had to the story he told me, where someone basically disrespected my home. And he felt like my reaction was really suspect. So,
Hmm.
um, what I'm gonna get into the little details that he did not know about. So he tells me again, it was a black Charger. a black Dodge Charger. They backed into the driveway. A gentleman got out of the car and he asked for me by name. And Legion said, she's not here. So um, I asked him, what does the guy look like? And he was like, what does it matter? I said, what the fuck does he look like? So Legion proceeds to give me the most generic description you can give. He was like, well, he was shorter than me. Ex-husband is about 6'3", 6'4". He was shorter than me. He was brown skinned. I said, did he have a hat on his head? Mind you, I understand that before marriage, I was a damn fool. I understand that. But every woman has that moment where you only gonna fool her but for so long.
Yeah,
And
that's
eventually
true.
puzzles start coming together.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I felt like moving into marriage, certain things started coming together. So I said to him, did he have a hat on his head? He was like, nah, he didn't wear a hat. So in my mind, I am mentally going down a list of every possible man it could be. And it was only like 4 men. I had been in that house about 3 or 4 years at this point. So I knew all of the people, and I'm talking about from maintenance down to ex-boyfriends. It was a total of like 4 men. So when he said that it was a black Charger, I immediately was like, okay, I know that crosses out one. He said he was shorter than him. All of them were shorter than him. I said, did he have a hat on his head? He said, no, that crossed out one because one in particular was a maintenance guy who always wore a hat on his head because he had like a bruise or something and he was just self conscious about it. So he always wore a hat. That leaves two. So I said, was he muscular or was he skinny? So Legion's getting all frustrated. I said, just answer the question. He was like, well, he was kind of in between. And I said,
Oh
okay.
God.
He was in between. I said, so was he light skinned or was he dark skinned? He was like, I told you he was brown skinned. I said, was he my complexion? He said, no,
Mm.
he was brown skinned. That eliminates one. So now there's one left. And yes, the one left would have been the ex that I had dated for 2 years. And so he was like, I know it was your ex. I know it was your ex. And I was like, that don't make no sense because the ex that in my mind, I'm saying this, the ex that I had dated, he and I had no contact with each other. And he was not the type to just pop up at your house.
That's what I
That ain't
said.
his
You know
style.
your exes.
Not to mention, and I ain't
Mm-hmm.
tell Legion this, that man would not be caught dead driving a Dodge Charger. He hated Chargers because he drove it as a patrol car.
Mm.
So I didn't say anything. I just was like, that's weird. So what Legion didn't know is that at the time I had a security system. So I had
Oh,
a security system where anytime the front door, the garage door, or the back door was open, basically any
You get a
entry
little
point,
message.
anytime it was open or closed, it would send me a text message notification. So when he's telling me all this, I'm looking at my phone and I see a notification where the front door was opened and it was shut all within the same minute. So, for example, if it says front door open at 1 p.m., front door closed at
Oh
1 p.m. So,
shit.
whatever he did was within those 60 seconds.
uh,
He's telling me the story of the guy got out the car. He opened the door. He went out there. Can I help you? And the guy said, I'm looking for, and Legion said, no, she's not here. And so he said the guy kind of was like, okay. And he was like, all right, thank you. And got in the car and drove off. Legion has also told me that he watched him drive out of the neighborhood,
it would
which
have took
means
him
because of the way the
longer.
house was set up, the townhouse,
Mm-hmm.
he would have still been
You were standing
outside
outside for more than a
watching this.
minute.
Right.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but something in me was like, that would take more than 60 seconds. So for
Mm-hmm.
the door to have been open and shut within the same 60 seconds, I was like, mm, mm, okay. So also what he didn't know, we didn't have a Ring door camera, but my neighbor did. And her
Mm.
Ring
Hey.
door camera caught my driveway. The view of
Mm.
the camera could see my driveway as well as her driveway, and so whoever was coming in the door, our driveways were right next to each other, and then on the other side of it was the grass. So it
Let
was a
me guess.
perfect view of my driveway.
Mm.
So I had texted her and I said, "Hey, were you home?" I think I texted her the next day because I said, "Were you home on Saturday?" Da, 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 da. And she said,
Oh
"No, I
yeah.
wasn't. What's up? Everything good?" And I said, can you look at your security system and see if there was a car that came to my house um, at such and such time?" And I know I did not tell her the reason I was asking, but I was like, is there any way that your security camera caught if someone came to my house at this time on Saturday? She was like, yeah, sure, I'll look. And so Maybe about a couple of hours later, she texted me back and said, "Hey, I looked at the camera, but I didn't see anything."
Mm.
And I said, "Okay,
Mm.
by any chance, did it catch if someone maybe walked up the driveway? Like maybe it wasn't a car in the driveway, but someone walked up." She said, "I didn't see anything with your driveway yesterday." So I said, "Okay." And I knew that something in me again was like, nobody
That
came to the
gut.
house. So now here we are, a month and a half married,
Mm.
and now is when I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up? Because no one came to the house. No black charger came to the house, pulled backed into the driveway. Nobody got out the car and asked for me.
The other reason could have been that he was trying to pick a fight so they could fight, and then he
He
could
had somewhere to
disappear.
go. It could be
Yeah.
that, or he's trying to make her so nervous to where she
Yes.
doesn't want to be alone, right?
Yes.
Like
That's
I'm the only one who can protect you. You can't get
yes.
rid of me. I got to protect you. So it could be a little bit of all of that. What we do know is he's a narcissistic liar,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. So it could be any of those or all of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
For
Damn.
me,
She's
nobody
doing
was
good
looking
though
for me.
now. Shit.
She's picking up.
So now I was sitting in the bedroom thinking through all this, and I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up? Because that's what happened. I'm looking at the text messages on my phone where he's telling me someone just came to the house looking for you, but no one came. So what was the purpose of that? And then something said to me, something in me said, he wanted to see your reaction. He just wanted to see the reaction. You had been too calm, and so he wanted to see a reaction. So this man gaslit me like I was Georgia Natural Gas just to get a
Mm,
reaction. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
mm,
All right, part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So after the black Dodge Charger incident, things were quiet. Legion was fine. Legion slept just fine. Me, that shit played over in my head for days and days and days. On one hand, I was like, I know nobody came. My head knew nobody came to the house. My heart was like, but maybe he didn't make it up. So the head and the heart were absolutely playing a tug of war because, again, I really couldn't fathom that he was making it up. But nevertheless, I filed it in the back of my mind in my little filing cabinet, my mental filing cabinet. So a few weeks later, we go out to eat at this restaurant in Atlanta. It's a burger place, and I'm going to do my best by the time I post this to put the name of the burger place on the screen. So we go to the burger place, eat dinner, everything was fine. As we are leaving, he says to me, did I ever show you where my grandmother's buried? This is the grandmother that passed away from COVID in 2020. And I said, no. I was like, we haven't been over here. And so he was like, let me show you. So he drives us to the cemetery, which is not far from the restaurant. He drives us to the cemetery, goes around and around, and then it comes to like a little hill in the cemetery. And he was like, you see the headstone. The headstone had like the family name on it. And it did not have, for example, John David Doe. It just had Doe. Okay. So there were no dates on it. So it reminded me of just a headstone where it was probably multiple family members buried underneath it. That's what it reminded me of. And so he was like, my grandfather and my grandmother are buried there. I do recall him telling me when the grandmother died in 2020 that she wanted to be buried next to his grandfather.
Yeah, but you
And so
could
he
put the
told
names on it though. But I mean, that makes
Usually there's a family name, right? Like it's not going to be
sense.
a Jane Doe, John Doe as a family plot.
Yeah.
That's not family plot.
No.
But
I
I mean,
mean,
we can pick up on the pattern she's laying down. Everything
yeah.
she's telling us is something this motherfucker has lied about.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I'm like, I mean, I would side eye that as well. Because like my dad is buried above my grandmother, and they
Hmm.
don't have the same name, so each one of their names have been put.
Exactly. There's a list.
So yeah,
Hmm. It's horrible. And the fact that you're willing to look at Miss Parker, I am not dolled up. I ain't even got no makeup on. You just looking at my titties. Also,
yeah,
fuck
oiled
you,
up,
your mama.
oiled up.
fuck your mama. Fuck your mama. Okay, because he talks about the petty fam and he knows Nova's name. He know BGTV's name, but I'm just the rest of them. You know what I mean? I ain't forget. I ain't forget. Fuck you and your mama, your mama.
we're sitting in the car because we can see the headstone like on top of the hill from the car.
I'm gonna
And he
block him
tells
in the
me
chat.
that that is where his grandmother and grandfather are buried. That the family was able to get her, her wishes were to be buried next to the grandfather. Okay. So as we are leaving, we take a different route home. So we get on the highway. If you're from Atlanta, you'll know what I'm talking about. We get on I-75 North. And we're kind of we're just driving around, to be honest with you. But we're taking the scenic route. We get on I-75 North because the reason why I remember is because when you're on I-75 North going towards Atlantic Station, on the right-hand side, you will see the Varsity. You'll see all these tall skyscraper buildings. One of the buildings has the letters NCR on the building. As we're coming up towards the building, he says to me, "Do you see the NCR building?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "The building behind it, my job bought that building. That's where we're going to have, we're setting up operations." And I was like, "Why the hell would y'all buy a condiment company in downtown Atlanta?" He was like, "No, we're not doing production there. It's just going to be offices. And that's where we're going to handle like the business portion. The production is still being done in Gwinnett County out in Duluth." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "That's where I keep the company car." So I was like, "The company car?" I said, "Aren't you supposed to be bringing the company car home?" And he was like, "I don't want to bring the company car home because it's Clayton County and it's a $90,000 car, and I don't want no problems." So he's telling me that he keeps the company car at the build.
Okay. That don't make listen. So you're telling me this man has told you he's a CEO, he got a company car, but he leaves the company car at work.
VP, right?
VP. What does he need the car for then if it's just in the parking lot at the job?
He gonna drive his car to the company car,
so he can drive that around while he's in the middle of meetings. Bitch, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, I'm upset about it. I didn't catch that the first time, but I was like, I feel like my eye was twitching for a second. What the fuck is wrong with this?
The building downtown Atlanta that's behind the NCR building. I barely could see what building he's talking about, but he was like, "It's the building right behind it." And so he's telling me that that's where his office is. So I said to him, "Take me to your office. I know it's a Saturday, but shit, you one of the VPs, right? So take me to your office." No, I had not been to his office simply because, again, COVID. So I was like, "Take me to your office." And he was like, "I can." He was like, "That's no problem." So do I have the other phone? I do. So y'all are in luck. So I can maybe reenact how this goes. So he gets off the exit and starts driving towards the NCR building. While he's driving towards the NCR building, he always has kept his phone in his left pocket. This is my left hand. So he pulls his phone out and he starts calling. He tells me he's calling Willie. Willie is supposed to be the head of security. So he's saying, "Now let me call Willie real quick to make sure that the building's open."
Pause. It is 2000. We are in the 2000s. Ain't no nigga named Willie head of security no more. Let's just stop. Ain't no nigga named Willie head of security. Right off top, you lying to me. You tell me there's a grown ass man at work calling himself Willie? No, we're not deep enough in the South for me to believe that. I'm sorry. Willie works at Harbor Freight. Willie mixes paint at the Home Depot. Okay, Willie is not the security at the Spice Company. I'm sorry. No, I'm done. No. I didn't catch that the first time either. I'm done.
Really, 95 years.
Fucking Willie. I'm calling Willie, baby. Who the fuck is Willie?
So he proceeds. This is another phone, but he proceeds to go ahead and call Willie. We're still driving, by the way. We're still driving. I'm on the phone, scrolling through Facebook, trying to figure out some random shit. But he's driving with the phone up to him. So driving with the phone. Next thing I hear, "Hey, Willie, it's Legion. Hey, how's it going? I'm good. Hey, is the building open? No, I just want to take my wife up there so she can see it and see my office. Are you up there right now? You're not? Okay, is Mr. Justin working? Okay.
Another fucked up one.
So is there anybody up there that can physically open the building? Because I don't think my badge is going to get me at least in the front door because of it's on the weekend lock."
Why on the weekend lock?
Pause. Okay. Exactly. Pause.
Look, I work one of my old jobs, but it was like in the downtown area, I should say, right?
Mhm.
And when we would go out to go drinking and shit like that, I don't like using like public restrooms. But my job, the restrooms are well, my old job, they were
Mhm.
cleaned all day long. So like if we were out because the place is open all day, all night, I would just go in and use the restroom there. Like,
I'm
and
saying,
it
and on
was
top of that,
open
you're a
all the time.
CEO. You're a
Right.
CEO. There is no, oh, the CEOs don't
That's
get in the
the week.
building on the weekend. What the fuck do
Right.
you mean? What do you? You're the
And I
CEO.
was just a
You,
worker, like I was just a representative, a VP could get in
your
any
key card
time.
works at McDonald's all week long. You ain't about to tell me. Okay, key fobs work all the time. There's no weekend lock on the key fob, especially for the V. You're the
The
fucking
VP.
VP, CEO. You up
Exactly.
there. You're in high management position, but you can't get in on the weekends. You got to call Willie to let you in. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, he claimed the company was moving to that building. He could have just said it's not finished yet. Yeah, that would have been a better. But he had to say
Exactly.
he parked the car there. Oh, yeah, that's right. So he had to say he parked the car there. Well, he could have just still said, "Hey, I got the car sitting there because I don't really want to take it to the crib, but the
But see,
building ain't
he
done yet,
fucked
so we
himself
can't
up
get
because
in." Yeah,
he can't even show a car, right? He done told her he got this company car. He can't
yeah,
show her
that's
a
true.
car. Yeah, he's fucked up in the lie. He's in the sauce now. So now he made up Willie. He gonna put everything off on this nigga Willie. Okay, it don't make no sense between my nigga
D-Roy
Willie.
security's D-Roy security skills would have let him in.
Yes,
I'm gonna no, but his it wasn't that it was broken. He was saying it was a weekend lock.
it was locked on the weekend to the VP of the company. Okay, we
Right.
don't do no
There's a
condiment work on the weekends, not on the
apparently
Lord's day.
there's a different lock on the weekends than are used during the week. Apparently,
It's fucking stupid.
All right, let me know.
Free Willy.
All right, thank you, Willie. Bye.
Bye,
Y'all
Willie.
see how I did that? He's having this whole conversation while I'm sitting in the passenger seat. So then he gets off the phone and he says to me, Willie is not working, and Justin apparently called out. So the building is
That's true.
locked and my badge won't get us in the front door. He was like, Willie's going to see if there's someone else that can open the front door so we can actually get in. He's like, my badge will get us on the floor, but it will not get us in the front door. No one ever called. So when he's getting off the highway, he basically turns onto Spring Street. Again, there's all kinds of shit I distinctly remember. He turns onto Spring Street so that he can then get on 75 South so we can go home. Never saw the office that day. But again, this is where he's saying that he keeps the company car. So when we get to part 21, I'll kind of go into detail about the whole company car a little bit more. Part 21, who the fuck did I marry? So the company car apparently was a charcoal gray BMW. I believe it was a
BMW,
5
that's right. Okay.
series. It was a 5 series. I don't know much about the sedans. Y'all know I wanted the X5 dark blue with the cognac interior. He got the BMW 5 series charcoal gray. He sent me a picture of the car. So I did see a picture of the
But
car.
would the vice president be locked
After
out
this
on the
whole
weekend?
NCR building
That's
taken to
what
your
don't make sense
office,
to me.
that is what he's claiming is
Yeah,
that
that's
he
my
left.
question. Like the VP wouldn't be able to get in. I see if it's like a worker, somebody who
In
like
HR, maybe whatever, but
like
the
a VP. Like I don't know, man. Y'all.
math isn't mathing for me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could believe that. If anybody should be able to get in on the weekend hours, should be the VP.
I'm saying.
He leaves the company car at that location. He's saying that he drives from Riverdale to
Oh wait, go
Midtown.
back, go back. I'm back. Did she show the
He's
car?
saying that he drives.
Oh.
He left after
No,
this
she
whole
didn't show it,
NCR
but
building
he
taken to
does.
your office. That is what
Okay.
he's claiming is that he leaves the company car at that location. He's saying that he drives from Riverdale to Midtown, switches out cars, and then drives from Midtown to Duluth. Those that don't know how Metro Atlanta is, basically Midtown would be in between where we live in Duluth. I only know that he left the house every day at 6:15. I know that I never physically saw the company car come to our home. Saw a pictures, plural. So when he told me that he got a BMW 5 Series, keep in mind this is after I had been promised a dark blue X5. So I was a bit salty. I don't care if it is a company car. I was a bit salty. I will admit that. Because I felt like you get to drive the car that I really want, which is a BMW. And so he would call me from the car. He would tell me, yeah, I may just drive home in this car and not switch back to his personal
Hey,
car. He's
Taco.
like, I don't know. He did that a lot. And I realize now in 2024, he did that because he knew how excited I was to actually see the car. Because shit, I wanted to test drive it myself, to be honest with you. And he knew that. So
I don't know why.
reactions. So he would say stuff like that, like, man, I'm so tired. I might just drive the company car. Go.
There's 50 episodes to this. And the next one we're going to go over has 21 episodes. So yeah, this is like trapped in the closet. All these lies just to secure some food and shelter. Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Or go ahead and go home. And then,
and for nothing because you probably would have took him without all that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like any of this was really necessary. Like if all they wanted to do was settle there and then maybe move somewhere else at some point, I don't think she would have had a problem. So he's just making this shit up because I don't know, for his own, for his own narcissism or whatever.
just let me park it in a garage type thing. So eventually he stopped doing that because I didn't want to hear nothing about that car. I'm driving a Nissan, you driving a BMW after you promised me a BMW. So I don't really want to hear nothing about it. So in terms of the company car, I did see that it was
not a BMW.
According to the pictures, a charcoal gray BMW 5 Series. If you're asking me the exact model, I don't know. But I know it's a 5 Series because I know the 7 Series is slightly longer. So it's a 5 Series sedan. So after the whole situation with the cemetery to see his grandmother and grandfather's headstone, then there was the NCR. The office is open. Oh, it's not open. Justin ain't working. Willie ain't working. Willie's supposed to be head of security, but he ain't
fucking Willie.
Okay. So at this point, I'm already numb. It is important for me to point out how numb I became dealing with him. Mind numbing, because I just got to a point where it was like, there's always something. There's always something. So of course we're not going to go to the office because there's going to be something. So this is the end of February. My birthday had already passed. There clearly was tension on my end, not so much tension on his end. So I get home a couple of weeks later. We are now in the beginning of March. This is something personal about me. The only way you would know this is if you know me. I have been dying to go to London and Paris. I had a layover in London when I did a study abroad, but it's not the same. I want to go to London and be a whole tourist. I don't care. I want to see Buckingham Palace. I want to see the Tower of London. I want to see Paris. I want to see the Palace of Versailles. This is something, if you know me, she wants to see Paris.
I feel you.
So I get home from work. This is the beginning of March. I get home from work.
Oh, no.
And on the counter is a folder with like a little bow on it. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Is this like mail? Like, was this something that you got at work? He's like, nah, it's a surprise for you. I open up the folder. Inside the folder is like a trip itinerary. It is not an actual booked trip. It's like an itinerary. A trip for two to go from Atlanta to London. The trip should have happened, and it was the month on there was like July, so it was a summer trip.
Let me see your passport, nigga.
Yeah. Oh, Techie Mommy, I think she did go actually. I don't know. Maybe she was gifted. I don't. Maybe
she hasn't gone yet, but she is planning her trip. So there is a good side to this. She just finally got her trip. I don't know who gifted it to her. It might have been the TikTok people, but she got enough to go, and she is excited as a motherfucker. She is super excited. But I'm sorry, if you're telling me you're taking me abroad, I need to know I need to see your passport. Right? You got your passport? Like, I got my passport. You got your passport. We can't wait till the last minute on this shit. So,
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the history that he has. So anytime she started to
mhm,
question anything, he did something to love bomb her. Yeah, pretty. Yeah,
mhm,
exactly. Like every time he could probably sense that she was over it.
mhm.
Here you go with some other shit that I know you
Some
want,
more
or that
love
I,
bombing.
and breadcrumb you until, you know, while I stall time or whatever.
Mm.
Um, who was on the board? Thank you for the super prayer. Check my comments for my hot take. Devil's advocate. What?
Okay, who's?
What? Oh wait, no. Here is my hot take on this. Oh shit. God damn it. She was so blinded by the thought of this man having money that she can live a life like hot girl summer for the rest of her life, so she ignored the red flags. I don't think it was about the money, like at all. I
It was
think
about the
she wanted
companionship.
the companionship and the security of someone who's willing to like be what my mom always told us, like you're gonna pick a partner, pick a helpmate, and I think that's what she thought she was getting. Someone who was gonna like hold her down, someone who's gonna be there for her, and like be a helpmate, be a best friend, be all of that shit. And I
The
think
thing we dream about. Yeah.
I don't think it was about money because she didn't seem to be doing bad. So I think it had more to do with like that companionship. And because she wanted a BMW, she wanted flights to Europe, she wanted a big ass house. It was way too big for them. It was all about money. I don't think it was all about money. I think though that he could sense that she
And
wanted
he was
that
pushing the bigger
security.
houses.
Exactly. He was
Yeah, he
pushing
was
that.
pushing
He
the
said
bigger
he got
houses.
approved for $700,000 and
Hmm.
that, you know,
Looking at
um,
400,000, 600,000, $800,000 houses. That was
right.
him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, she had her own place. I
Mhm.
don't I think it was definitely not uh I don't think her goal was any money or anything from him. I think it was like what Miss Parker said, the companionship. And I think so yes, she definitely ignored a shit ton of warning signs, and that's something that she gotta go to therapy for because there might be some toxicity there within her, which I don't think so because she's in retrospect she's able to see it. Um, so it was just a bad moment, you know what I mean? And fuck that perfect victim shit. um, yes, but once he got approved for 700,000, it was like she was all in instead of saying why don't we just get a little ranch. Um, she wanted big money too because she thought he had it. I mean, but I mean, here's the thing: if
I
you
can
meet
see that.
someone and they have the means to get a $800,000 home, right? Then I think anyone would be a bit excited. But I'm saying that that wasn't her motivating force. At least I
Yeah.
don't
It might have been
think
an afterthought once she had
it
it.
was a
Like, okay,
byproduct.
now
Yeah,
yeah, because remember, he was paying all the bills. And she said it a couple
right,
times. It just felt so good to not have to worry
right,
about certain things. He was taking care of it. So, I mean, eventually, yeah, that had something to do with it. But I think her primary
right,
motive was her desperation. She wanted a family. She wanted to pick a fence. She wanted the trips
right.
to Europe. She wanted the perfect life that everybody keeps posting on TikTok and
Mhm.
all this shit. That's what she was going for.
Right. Don't get it twisted. I'm not defending the man. I'm just saying she's just as fault as he is. I don't think just as
I
much
think
as
she
at
gaslit
fault.
herself for a minute.
Yes, but she does have to carry some of the burden of her own,
Yeah.
like of the dysfunction. Right. She got to carry some
Mm.
of that because she did ignore a lot of red flags,
Look at my little
sirens, if you
deformed
will.
gummy. Look at it. It's all deformed. It's horrible.
What is this? What flavor is that?
It's these little strawberry cream gummies, and it's supposed to be
Oh,
two
okay.
bears hugging, and it just looks like a blob. But I'm gonna eat it though.
Yeah. Not right. Like I said, I ain't defending his ass, but I'm saying once money was brought up, she was like, fuck them red flags, they're both that far.
Hmm.
I can't agree there. I can't agree that they okay. They both have their own faults and she has her own faults, but to put them on equal standing, absolutely not. Like, I think she may have, her desperation or just wanting that family definitely made her ignore the red flags. But I think if we're just judging it based on, number one, based on what she's presented to us, right? And then based on the way he's responded, tells me that a
Yes.
lot of this shit is right. Like,
Yeah, like he was this motherfucker is a master manipulator. Master.
right, right.
Legit.
Yeah, and the way he's responded definitely lets me know that the way she's telling this story is, if there's a margin for error, it's small.
It's small. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
He tells me, I'm going to take you to London. He was like, I wanted to take you for your birthday, but certain things fell through. He was like, so this summer in July, we're going to go to London. He was like, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at the Savoy. Again, there's certain things that my brain just was like, remember that, remember that. He said, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at the Savoy. I know, as much as I want to go to London, y'all, I didn't know anything about the Savoy. And so I remember going to look it up because I was like, what is the Savoy? Well, apparently the Savoy is bougie, very bougie. So I was so excited. I cannot
That's so
tell y'all
messed up,
how
yo.
fucking excited I was when I saw that he had printed out British Airways. Like, he was speaking my language. I am one of those people, I'm a planner. So when he's saying, I'm going to take you to London, and he took the time to research flights and print it out and research the Savoy and print it out. And there were different, not excursions, but there were different things that you could do.
Oh, we're gonna look at the ex-wife's video
There's
and
two ex-wife videos.
two ex-wives video, and then we could
And I think one of the
talk about
girlfriends
it.
came out too. One of the
We
side
could talk
chicks
about
came out.
it. Let's hear the other people's. Let's hear the ex-wives and the ex-girlfriend, even one of the ex-stepsons talk about him, and let's see
And a
what the
baby mama.
determination is. Yes, after all of that, because
Mm,
all them people can't have a similar story and it be wrong. Something's
mm,
the problem, and I think it might be him in this
mm,
case. But 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 she was definitely, I think, willfully ignorant in some cases. I think
mm-hmm,
that, like, she's guilty of that for sure. I'm glad she didn't have no kids or nothing. Like, I'm glad that, I mean, unfortunately she dealt with what she dealt with, but I'm glad she didn't bring any kids into the situation. And because I think that would have been unfair to put to bring your kid into this, and now they got to deal with just this whole situation.
You could do. You could go see the Tower of London. You could go see Buckingham Palace, changing of the guard. We could go have high tea at certain places. He was like, I don't really want to go, but I know you're dying to go. So he was like, I love you, and I would do anything for you. Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? And so he was like, I'm going to take you to London in July. The trip did not include Paris. That's fine. But I was so excited. So excited. And so this is the beginning of March. I was like, this is great. Hopefully this happens. I knew I needed to renew my passport. And he was saying that he had to renew his passport as well because his passport had expired. So both of us were like, okay, we need to get on this if we're going to try to make it to London in July, and it's now March.
Oh my god!
Me being a planner I am, I think I went to work the next day and printed out the passport applications so that we could fill it out and go ahead and get that process going. So, needless to say, something must have happened, and I don't remember what it was. We just simply didn't fill out the application for the passport. So, fast forward, we're now at mid-March. Mid-March, the decision was made that my mom, who lived in Arkansas, was coming to visit us. She would be coming, I believe, the second week of April, and she was going to stay a week and then a few days. So, like, maybe a total of 9 days. Not quite 2 weeks, but a little over a week. So she was coming in April, and I was excited. Legion was excited because he was excited to physically meet my mom. He had talked to her on Zoom, he had talked to her on the phone, but he was excited to physically meet my mom. And my mom was excited to physically meet her son-in-law. So this is mid-March. I'm going to go into part 22 where I explain what happened with Facebook Messenger.
Oh boy.
Part 22, who the fuck did I marry?
Here we
so now
go.
we're in March. This is right after he had surprised me with the announcement of we're going to go to London for a trip in July, because we definitely didn't do a honeymoon. We definitely didn't do any sort of trips together. So The
Yeah, I
idea
went
was
to
we're going to do a
Wingstop.
trip in July together. Um, one thing about Legion was that he was the guy who was like, I have nothing to hide. I don't lie. I don't like liars. If we're in a relationship, then everything should be out in the open. So I've always had
One
his
thing I've learned in life is that a motherfucker that tells you that they don't lie constantly,
They lying.
lying.
They're lying. Because somebody telling the truth don't have to give you the prereps. You know what I
That
mean? Like, I don't have to
motherfucker lies
constantly
all
remind you
the
that I'm
time.
not a liar. Okay. Or if you start sentences with, let me tell you the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I already know you want some fuck shit. Or I put that on my mama. I put that on my kids. You want some fuck shit. All right,
yeah,
off top, you want some fuck shit.
that motherfucker lying all the time.
Mm.
cell phone passcode. Never felt the need to look through his cell phone. Um, and funny enough, I can tell y'all right now, disclaimer, I will never go through a cell phone again. You cheating piece. So anyway, um,
Hmm.
so okay, this is mid-March, going like
I don't
around
use
March
cell
20th.
phones.
So we're heading in towards the end of the month. He was in the shower. Keep in mind, my mom is coming for a visit in April. So he was in the shower and he received a text message on his phone from a woman. Um, the text message, because it was a preview. So the text message was something where if you didn't know the context of the text thread, you could either go left or you could go right with it. So me being just curious, I opened up the phone, put the passcode in, read the text, then read the thread. Come to find out, it was a text from his aunt. His aunt and his ex share the same name. That's why I say it could go left or it could go right. Text was from the aunt. So I looked at the text, went through the thread, nothing in there. So I went ahead, X'd out of the messages. I see that he has Facebook Messenger downloaded, and obviously it shows you the number of unread messages in the icon. So it showed that he had like 5 unread messages. So I clicked on it, just being nosy. And what do my wondering astigmatism eyes see?
Mm.
So in his Facebook Messenger is about 7 women. I can see
Hmm.
their profile picture and I see their names. Some of them had a preview. The ones that he had not read, I could see the preview of the message. One in particular said, "When are you gonna come get this?" Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm,
So I clicked on that one first. And I'm reading through the thread. And so she's saying, "When are you going to come get this?" But earlier in the thread or further back in the thread, he had asked her, "When are you going to give me?" And she said, "When
Hmm.
lockdown is over." So from what I could piece together,
oh Lord.
he had not yet physically gotten with her. But had there been no COVID, oh, he would have smashed all day, every day. The other messages were innuendos, meaning the other messages from the other women were innuendos. They were not as graphic as the one between him and her. So I'm reading these messages, and what is interesting is that the person I am married to is not the person in these messages. Like, this man was on some nasty shit. And I say nasty
Gucci daddy.
not in a judgmental way, but in a, with me, he seemed to act as if I was damn near virginal white. And
Thank you, Taylor, for the cash app. Oh, not enough likes. How many likes we got? 'Cause I have not been watching. How many we got?
Let me see.
Y'all
Let me
about to
see.
hear some Russ in a minute. Watch.
Yes. What's happening? You only got 42 likes.
All right, I'm gonna need y'all to like the stream, and y'all gonna have to listen to Rush real quick because that's what y'all decided to do with your morning is
Mm.
not like enough on the stream, and now you gotta
I'm
listen to
saying it's
Rush.
only one thing. It's not like putting a penis in your ear. Y'all could like the stream. Bunch of bums.
Which one is it? Let me do Barnaby. Everybody likes Barnaby.
There's
Barnaby.
a world outside of Yonkers. Close your eyes and see it.
Like, I want to see this
Glisten,
play.
Barnaby.
Like, I need to see the Barnaby play.
Listen, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle.
His laugh at the end is funny.
Just
I keep
Barnaby.
tickle with himself. All right.
Mm.
All right, let's get the likes up to let's get another 20, 30 likes up in there. All right.
And I clearly see evidence that you into some shit that with me, you acting like, nah, I ain't really into that. So I confronted him. I absolutely confronted him and was like, what the fuck is this? If 2 + 2 is 4 and 5 + 5 is 10, what the fuck is this? And so he did not, oh, that ain't what happened, blah, blah, blah. Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened. I shouldn't have said all that, but I was just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. I was just flirting. And so I'm like, is this what you into? And so he was like, no, it's not what I'm into. It was just stupid. It was stupid because I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to be honest with y'all because I've been honest all this time. What pissed me off the most was that here I am as a woman behaving, trying to do the right thing by him and this marriage. And you mean to tell me you out here offering your dingaling to random chicks that you don't even know?
I mean,
I was more angry at the fact that I'm like, dude, do you know how much I have turned down in order to be faithful to your dumb ass?
that's always how it is.
And I'm seeing that you basically are out here acting like you got Skittles taste the rainbow. I was hurt. I was angry. I thought about getting my lick
I'm
back.
the type, I'll fuck your best friend.
And he played it off like it ain't.
I'm sorry, I will fuck your best friend. Okay? I will fuck your daddy. Just so it's when we're done. Oh, we're done. I'm gonna fuck somebody. Somebody.
At that age, we could.
Yes, I will fuck your daddy, and you will be mad every Thanksgiving, motherfucker.
It ain't nothing serious. It ain't nothing serious. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. It was just dumb. He was like, I will delete the messages. I'll even delete Messenger. And I told him, I was like, that's really not good enough because that's not.
I mean, that was the first problem.
Issue. So this is where I introduced that we need to do
Facebook Messenger.
Counseling. He didn't have any issue doing marriage counseling. We did not do premarital counseling, but he was like, that's fine. He was like, I don't have no problem doing marriage counseling because if anything, it can help us. So I thought that, okay, he may not have physically cheated from what I could see on the messenger. He may not have physically cheated, but he damn sure got caught, doing a little something, because they had exchanged pictures. So y'all know what pictures he sent. And I was disappointed because I don't like men that send those type of pictures. But anyway, that's another issue. So we agreed that we would start marriage counseling. We also agreed that we would put on a united front when my mom got there. In other words, we were not going to argue. We, let's just act like everything is fine. But at that point, when my mother arrived in April, I could not stand him. I did not want to be, but we couldn't, he moved back into our bedroom because he had moved into the guest bedroom when I saw the messages. Like 3 days before she came, he moved back into the bedroom because obviously she needed to sleep somewhere. So I really could not stand him. And it was because I was busy second guessing myself. Like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, if that's what you into and I'm supposed to be your wife, like, let's have conversations. Like, shit, I went to FAMU. I understand some stuff, buddy. So it just was one of those things where it made me second guess, like, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? What is it that she got that I don't? Because you all out here willy-nilly, messaging her all hours of the night, because the thread went back quite a few weeks. I saw it in March. There were messages from December, November.
God.
So again, I'm just second guessing all kinds of stuff. Self-esteem taking a hit.
From the beginning of the marriage.
Around him. I did not.
But I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mindful pig, let's fake it together for her mama. See how his character flaws are rubbing off on her. And she's also trying to save face, which I think is the worst thing you could fucking do. Like, if it ain't working, it ain't working. Like, stop trying to put a square peg into a round hole. Like, stop trying to make this shit fit. It just don't. Like, there's something wrong with him. He's lying. There's something wrong with you because you keep ignoring it.
And co-signing the lies. That's what co-signing the lies when it comes to your family. So
exactly. Right. You want to keep it away from people who may have some like good, insight for you. You don't want to let them know. So you just like willing to live in that delusion. That's not good. Yeah.
Once I didn't like him. Period. I did not like him. I left and I would just go for a drive because driving clears my mind. I called my aunt, told her what happened. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend calling family to tell them what's going on in your marriage. But I called my aunt,
I gotta
and my
push
aunt
back on that.
lovingly was like, "What do you want me to say?"
Mm.
I have to push back on that. Listen, you should have someone you can talk to about your relationship. There should never be a point in your life where you don't tell somebody. And I get it. She's from the same generation. We were told what happens at home stays at home.
Yeah.
Don't go out there telling your business to the streets. That's not the rule anymore. Okay, if you're going through some shit in your house, you need to talk to somebody. That's how these motherfuckers keep you isolated. No, you need
Yes.
to open
Yes.
your fucking
Yes.
mouth.
Yes. Yeah. Like I think that I think you should know who to talk to, right? You're gonna have those who
Mm-hmm.
cannot, who cannot, who cannot see past those things after the conflict has been resolved. But there's certain things that nobody should see past. You know what I mean? Like if this person is abusing you somehow, whatever, nobody's gonna be able to see past it. You shouldn't see past it. So like I understand the mentality, but I have to disagree as well. If you don't want to tell certain family members because maybe they talk too much or you don't want your business getting out there, that's understandable. But find a confidant and someone that you can talk to that can be objective so that you're not isolated. Because, yeah, that's how abuse persists is by being isolated. Her overly traditional mindset is exactly what kept her in this mess for so long. Yeah, yes, exactly. Exactly. Right, Steph. Mm-hmm.
You married him. You know, he ain't your boyfriend. Y'all can't just break up. That's the hard part about marriage. Is like,
True.
I mean, yeah, I
Mm.
guess you could leave
These
him, but
older
at the same
generations,
time,
man.
you married him. So, honey, you gonna have to go back home. And
No.
y'all are gonna have to figure this out. She was like, I can't give you advice on what you should do. I'm sorry that this happened, but you married him. So even though it was just one drive, I went back home, and that's when the discussion was, we need to do marriage counseling. Part 23. Who the fuck did I
Mm.
marry? So we agreed to do marriage counseling. I had
What's
found
wrong
a
with
pastor and his wife who agreed to do our counseling. Basically, our counseling was going to be on Zoom, and it was going to be every other week, every other Tuesday. Initially, Legion was participating in it. Um, his body language seemed to be that he was open and receptive to the marriage counseling. Now, the pastor and his
that
wife
was her aunt, Steph. I believe she said she told her aunt, and she was the
Yeah.
one that told her that.
Someone is at the front door.
were deeply concerned at the fact that we had only been married 3 months and we were already dealing with some form of infidelity. We were in marriage counseling, and as the pastor would put it, there seems to not be any sort of intimacy. Um, they were concerned, rightfully so. I think any person would be if they knew what was going on within those 3 months. So, the pastor and his wife, it is fair to note, we started counseling with them in the spring. We continued counseling with them up until a week before I found out what I found out, and he got kicked out. So, one of the first things that the pastor kind of talked to us about was, um, are you what was the deal with the Facebook Messenger stuff? And Legion was like, it was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. It really was just attention, and I got carried away. He felt like he was not going to. He kept saying, "I'm not going to keep apologizing. I'm not going to keep getting persecuted." After I told you, I'm sorry. I told you I wouldn't do it again, and I want us to move forward. You're either going to forgive me or you're not. Pastor and his wife were like, "Wow, the audacity is real on this one." So, needless to say, we started moving slowly forward. It was always in the back of my mind, just like it was in the back of my mind with that black Dodge Charger. It was one of those things where, okay, I see how you kind of are moving and operating. He came to me a few days after we started our first counseling session, and he was like, we should
Mm-mm-mm.
get a joint bank account. What he wanted to do was to each one of us have our own account and to get
Oh
a joint
no.
account for our
Uh
money to
oh.
go in there for joint expenses.
No.
We
Behind
already
the
fucked up
scenes,
with the car.
the rent, the utility.
Already fucked up with the car, but now we talk about a joint account. How much are you gonna let him fuck
Oh,
up your credit for?
this would have been such a hard no for me. Like, absolutely not.
The social
And
security numbers. That's the one that keeps ringing in my mind. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, and then talk joint accounts. No. And then what happened to the passports? We didn't even get there. Okay.
Oh
That's just,
God.
oh my God. There's so much.
Utilities,
So
and I
much.
really was just paying for my stuff.
Girl.
So now he's suggesting, look, we're married now. Let's go ahead and get a joint account. I wasn't necessarily against it because I knew that I would still have my own account. I would still have my own savings. So what I countered with was, okay, let's take a look and see what we're working with. Show me your checking. Let's look at each other's accounts. Look at what we have currently. He was cool with that. So he shows me his checking account. His checking account available balance was about, it was just over 9,600. Mine was just over 1,500. So there was a huge disparity in the amounts. And so he logged in on the phone and turned it towards me, and I could see available checking, available balance, just over 9,600. I logged into my savings. I showed him how much I had in savings. He logged into, picked up his
Oh
phone.
no. Forever fetus. I'm not against a
You
joint
can
bank
trust your
account.
husband, obviously, but this
Well,
motherfucker done gave
yeah,
us too many
but
red
this
flags.
guy, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because I think like it's a good idea to have like one account for where the money goes for like bills and shit, so that you don't have to worry about somebody coming up
Hmm.
short. But this
You don't
motherfucker,
really even need a shared account anymore. Somebody has said it too. Like there's Zelle, there's Cash App, there's
yeah,
Chime.
right.
We don't need a shared account. We can share one of these little things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Oh no, I know Forever Fetus. Though. I'm like, oh my god, this guy absolutely not.
His
Mm.
phone.
But yeah, with
Logged
Zell and
into his
stuff.
Chase
Yeah.
savings, turned the phone towards me. In the
Shit,
Chase savings,
with Cash App, and you earn interest on it now. With Cash App, there's a
mm-hmm.
savings feature.
Yep.
And you can earn interest on it. So yeah, you don't even need to go down that road anymore.
it was roughly about 15,000. But I also knew that he told me he had a U.S. bank savings and he had an offshore savings. So at this point in
Okay.
time, I asked him,
Wait, that's
show
another
me.
question. Hold up, because I would be looking at. Wait, your available checking account balance is $9,600,
Makes no
but
sense
yet
at all.
you have an offshore account.
And you didn't pay the card note?
Right, like
Come
it's
on.
to
It's the
me.
math isn't
No,
mathing.
the math ain't mathing.
The U.S. bank savings, show me the other two accounts. He would not do it. This became a huge bone of contention. He would not show me the two accounts that he claims has the most money in there, the
Of
accounts that
course
he
not.
claims has money for a house in there, because he still was mentioning, hey, we need to get on this house thing if we're gonna move when the lease is up. So I'm just adamant on, why don't you want to show me your savings account? You showed me the Chase one. Like, what is the big deal? And so he kept saying, he was like, there's a lot of money in there. And he was like, and my uncle always taught me, this is not the uncle that died, another uncle. My uncle always told me, just keep your money tight because women can be, I said, women, like, we're married.
We married,
So
nigga. Yeah.
go ahead and show it to me. He would not show it to me. So then we went back into marriage counseling, like the next session, and I bring it up. I said, he will not show me these two accounts that he claims has the money in there to buy a house. I told our pastor and his wife, I said, I saw the pre approval letter, so I don't understand why he's not going to show me to just put me at ease that he has the money in there. I had never questioned it before because, again, you tell me who in their right mind signs their name to a legally binding offer, an all cash offer on a house?
Wait, for for all his Taylor
Mm.
Noir said for all his arena football money, he doesn't know how to be a team player.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Oh my
Mm,
god.
mm.
Okay. All right, so we're
We
about
gotta
to
finish this one.
yeah, we're
Let's
gonna
finish
finish
this
on
story.
23. Yeah.
And they
Okay.
just do it willy nilly. I don't know anyone that does that. So I actually never questioned
What up,
what was
Ishka
in the
Bibble?
savings because I clearly saw him sign his name to a $699,000 all cash offer on a house. If you
He
don't
can
know what I'm
sign
talking about,
anything.
please go back to the parts in this playlist where I talk about
Yes, he is
what
using
he
a
did
fake
when he broke
identity.
into
We
our
already
house.
got two
So the
socials.
pastor and his wife were like, Legion, that's not his name, y'all. That's a nickname. Legion, why would you not show your wife your savings account? Like, what's going on here? And so he made up some bullshit. And I remember the pastor's wife was like, something ain't right. And so at this point, Legion kind of shuts down. He's just like, look, y'all are not going to tell me when and where I open up my accounts to show anybody the money I earned. I earned that money. I earned that money by playing football, blood, sweat, and tears. He went to this whole Denzel Washington
Of course
monologue
he did.
about
Not
how he
the
earned that
Denzel
money.
Washington
No one,
speech.
no woman, no one is going to come in and tell him that he needs to open up the account. So then he starts talking about the ex-wife and how she tried to get money from him in the divorce
Oh
back when
Lord.
they were in California. So now the pastor and his
That
wife,
part is
their
so
red flags
good.
are just like,
Remember that for later.
whoa. So much so that the pastor's wife said, and I will never forget this, she said, I don't think you all are going to make it to January. What she was talking about is, I don't think y'all are going to make it a year. And I really, truly was like, we're going to make it. Like, of course we're going to make it. And she was just
Really?
like, I don't have a good feeling about it. And so
This
Legion's all
lady.
defensive. He at this point, he's folding his arms and because remember, we're on Zoom. He's folding his arms and he's just like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to get attacked because I'm not comfortable showing you the amount of money that I have. Money changes people. And I'm not comfortable. So he's playing that victim
And
part.
why did you marry me?
And so
Exactly.
the pastor and his wife were like, we're still going to help y'all as much as we can. But so he was like, I'm not comfortable. And basically the pastor and his wife were like, look, we'll help y'all as much as we can. But there's some deep issues here. And,
Yeah, he's a liar.
This is what they advised us. Had the two of you came to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, do not get married. Y'all
Flags
should
in
not
the
even be
chat.
together. That is what the pastor and his wife.
Right, Kitty Moore? When the church thinks you're shady, run, don't walk.
I'm saying, because they know shady.
Yo, seriously.
Wife told us in marriage counseling, if you two had come to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, y'all should not even be together, let alone get married. But here we are. So we will help you guys as much as we can. But the pastor's wife was like, I don't have a good feeling that y'all are going to make it a year.
Ooh, all right. So tomorrow we'll do 24 to
Yes.
I don't know, whatever we get up to. Maybe we'll be able to get to like 30 something tomorrow, the whole other video. But I believe Mango's live right now, so go
Shit.
drop that link. Go hit up Mango, go show Mango some support, go see what she got going on. I don't know what she's reviewing right now, but definitely go over there. Have some fun in her chat. But yeah, thank y'all for coming out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tomorrow we'll be doing 24 to whatever we get up to. I gotta change the title on this one. And yeah, everybody have a good day.
Yeah, I got a play date with my little godson. So he came in here. He's like, "You done yet?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Oh, the little one?
Yeah, the one that looks like baby Bruce Willis.
Stuff. Time to build stuff.
That's
All right,
it's time to do stuff and things. Yeah.
Everybody have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we talking? Are we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking? Are we talking? Are we spanking?
Damn.